what it is, and I think that's something different. I mean, they could have added that at the end, but it wasn't the documentary. That wasn't what it was about.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, and I reckon they could have probably mentioned it when they spoke about the 12-year-old boy, and now the situation with the people in a wheelchair. But like you said, that's not what the documentary is about. Maybe they could have added a line or two about it, but
okay.
I think it's good and bad that they didn't say anything. Because if they say something, like, especially like when alcohol's in the picture, like, because if you take home a girl and she's like, then she can't really give you the consent that you need. But then again, if they were gonna send like a message, make sure she's like, then they put forward that. Yeah, I can't describe it.
But they didn't take in any people. They didn't have any people that were in the end they were complaining about how they didn't give consent. So I don't see why. I mean that the barricade one, she didn't say that. He barricaded her and asked her out. I thought when I heard it was like, oh God, is that what he did? But he just asked her out. I mean, he was literally barricaded to ask her for consent to just go out with her. So I mean, it wasn't. I don't think there was any point where they talked about something where it was on the limit of being close to unconsensual sex. So
Okay.
I mean, they didn't really have to talk about it.
And I'm sure if she would have said like, I want to go out, he
marry
probably would
him.
have. Like he probably would have let her out.
Yeah.
It was more, for me, it was more like he closed the door so he can have a moment with her, like asking a personal question without like the other guys interfering.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that? No? Okay. Also, the documentary puts like quite a lot of importance on like your first time. That kind of dictates the rest of your sexual experiences. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree? Do you think like your first time kind of sets the tone for the rest of your sexual life, or?
Do you mean when you say sexual? Do you mean like penetration sex?
Or like any
Penis
sexual
versus
experience after that? Yeah. Do you feel like it matters or no?
No, it doesn't, because I mean, like they said, 40% of the gay.
Oh yeah,
they
40%
have
of
sex like together, then they. So that's
Maybe that's why the sex was so bad. They're like.
yeah, maybe.
can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, because to me, or to us personally, it felt like the presenter was putting quite a lot of focus on the first sexual experience, like mattering for the rest of your life. Like she made a comment about the burlesque dancer. She was like, "Oh, I'm happy that she didn't let her first sexual experience define her for the rest of her life." So she kind of put a lot of importance on that. But maybe you didn't notice, and that's fine.
I mean,
you're probably going to remember it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, mine was pretty bad, but it didn't define anything.
Yeah.
You will have more experiences
you
later
learn
and
from
that
it.
changes.
So,
I don't think it's as important as I think that's more of a social concept. To me, it's super important than what it is actually.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Do you have any more questions on content, or can I?
No, sure, just go.
Okay. Yeah. So, did you generally think it was a good documentary about the topic? Do you think like it represented losing your virginity in a good way, or anything like that? How did you feel about the actual documentary and the way it was made?
I think I answered it first.
Yeah, you said you didn't like it. Any other thoughts on how the documentary was made?
I think it was a bit too playful.
Too playful?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Because like, even the presenter, she was like, always like going around, suggesting, like laughing and stuff. Like she wasn't really that emotionally invested into it. She was just like, okay, you guys were drunk. You probably went on a night out. Like all the stories sort of began the same. They were drunk, this and that. It was no like nothing really intense, nothing really personal. It was just more of like from a fun night out or something.
Yeah. Do you think it's good to make a documentary about this kind of topic?
Yes, but like I said, just to reiterate what I said, they were too selective. And the people that chose were just too narrow.
But in general, like to make a documentary about losing your virginity, do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, especially that now more and more younger people are having sex. And especially that in this country, like you said, there's a culture to have a lot of sex, especially when you're younger. So yeah, it is important to inform the people our age and younger.
Mhm.
But just the way they did it is just shit.
Mhm.
Bad.
Any other thoughts?
And I think they also put a special. I think they kind of emphasize a little bit too much the importance of it. I think how, like you said, they make it they look as if like that moment defines your whole life, and it's so important. Well, I don't think it really is.
Okay.
So,
They didn't show any person that lost his virginity like really late. Did they?
No, not super late.
I like the girl that were like that she didn't have sex for 4 years. Like, probably not the fact that she didn't have sex, because I don't know how she made it. But that she realized that the sex in itself can be okay, but without the emotional attachment.
Mhm.
If you have sex like all the time, you won't get anything out of it in the end. Like, yes, it's nice, but then if you have sex like, let's say, like 20 times in one night stand with 20 different people, then you won't get special anymore, because there's like you won't see them as like persons, you just see them as objects when you have sex with them, because you just want to have sex with them, like without any feelings. So I kind of liked that they show that side, especially of the religion part, like that can happen.
So, would you say generally you think it's good to make documentaries about this kind of topic?
Yeah.
Like information purposes and things like that? Yeah?
Just to go
Yeah.
back to the point of where you ask if we think it's good. The documentary itself, I felt like what they presented is the mainstream teenage idea of what it's like, whereas it should be more of, they should give more examples, like you said, of that girl, that woman, the presenter, who actually, you don't need to have sex, or